Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The European Union has clear laws, rules, and regulations. And there are rules and regulations, policies that help the countries maneuver and function within the European Union. For instance, if the European Union would like to place sanctions on a country, they all have to have a vote and they all have to be in agreement. Has to be unanimity. So all the European countries have to agree. If there's one country that doesn't agree placing sanctions on a certain country, that should not happen. That's the rule. Obviously, we have Hungary here, and we have the European Union, and we have Russia and Ukraine. Do not forget that the elected officials of each country in Europe are elected by their people. So the Hungarian nation, the Hungarian people, voted for their leaders, not for the Brussels leaders. They're not elected by these guys, okay? So, let's say in Hungary, Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, is in charge of his country, and he is the one who's sworn, that he's going to defend the country, the people, and so on, and Hungarians. Not Brussels. The Brussels does other things. The problem is these guys try to invert that. Like, for instance, I'm in charge of my, let's say, minor children, okay? Not the government. Now, obviously, if I abuse my children and an investigation is ongoing and so on, it's a different story. If the abuse is so big, then your children are removed by a judge and all that. We have all those rules and practices, right? Policies and so on. The same here. So, Prime Minister Viktor Orban is in charge of Hungary, not Brussels. Hungary has its national interest. That is, the population needs to have resources, other kind of deals with other countries, businesses, and so on. There's certain kind of policies. Now, Brussels wants to impose sanctions on Russian oil that would come and provide oil to Hungary. Now, if Hungary doesn't have oil, Hungary is going to be going down. The people are going to have a worse standard of living. Their lives will suck. Therefore, Orban will be voted out of the office. So Orban did not want to impose sanctions on the Russian oil. There's a pipeline called Druzhba, the friendship, coming from Russia via Ukraine, coming into Hungary, I think it's Slovakia, Czech Republic, Poland that doesn't want to have it, oil anymore, and Germany, I think, also has it, from Druzhba. So this is the story. What happened? The unelected president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, she was not elected by the Hungarian people. No. Indirectly elected by others, approved, yay, nay, but not by the Hungarian people. So she allegedly told Zelensky that it's kind of okay if Zelensky does something with the Druzhba pipeline. Therefore, stopping the oil flowing from Russia into Hungary, which is of national interest. And now Hungary, obvious, says, wait a second, you guys, I'm in European Union, those are not in European Union, this is my national interest, the resources I get, and you tell those guys to do this, which you're not elected, you're not in charge of me, we are part of it all, you play with that guy against my people, so my people will suffer and they will vote me democratically out of the office after a few spontaneous uprisings. So let's see this article right here, coming from Sputnik, obviously the ugly Sputnik. And it says, Hungary demands explanations from Ukraine, Brussels over Druzhba pipeline. The pipeline was allegedly attacked, by the way. We can only guess. Hungary is waiting for explanations from Ukraine and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen concerning reports on a possible stop of oil supplies from Russia to the European Union via the Druzhba pipeline, Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjarto said. Peter, fantastic guy right here. I will say it until the end of time. Unless he fucks up. I hope he doesn't. He's not a weasel. He's a intelligent, strong, witty guy, and he knows the Western culture inside out, and the reporters as well. with their weasel ways, he just blocks them. Watch some videos on YouTube, you will be impressed. Last week, media reported that von der Leyen had offered Ukrainian President Zelensky to suspend the Druzhba pipeline. So Brussels, this woman, unelected, offered, I don't know in the name of whom, another country that's not in the European Union, to suspend Druzhba pipeline, which transits Russian oil to Hungary, which is an European Union country, among other European countries I already mentioned, as part of the 11th package of sanctions against Moscow. A British business newspaper later reported that the EU was considering expanding Russian oil embargo by cutting transit through Druzhba, adding that the European Commission refused to provide any comments. And I'm quoting, "We have received no explanations concerning this from Kiev. I think this is an issue of such importance that the European Commission's president should personally present explanations, as energy security is a question of sovereignty." Something that these guys are talking about when they talk about Ukraine. Ukraine sovereignty, but not Hungarian sovereignty or, God forbid, Syrian sovereignty. Szijjarto told a Hungarian radio station, "If someone attempts to make a secure energy supply impossible for a country, it can be considered an infringement on the country's sovereignty." He explained. I totally agree with that. I think if someone would, let's say, not allow the US to receive any, fertilizer, they will attack that country. If it's Russia, they will not. International treaties guarantee Hungary transit oil supplies from Ukraine, the minister said, going on to accuse Ukraine and Croatia of taking advantage of conflict to raise the transit fee by 5 to 6 times. So that's an artificial, all this is artificial. That's why some companies make a lot of money. Military industrial complex, banking industry or banking sector, and the, how do you call them, energy sector. So we have here these guys conspiring against a European Union member state, Hungary. Why? Because they don't like Orban, because they want him changed, and they will try to put pressure on the population, so they democratically change this guy, who was elected 4 times. Viktor Orban was elected 4 times. Now, I gotta tell you this, I said it many times and I will say it. If a person that I don't like, excels in something and, I don't know, invents something, does something extraordinary, got my applauses, my admiration. Or if, let's say I'm Romanian and these guys are Hungarians, and I think the Hungarian leadership and Hungarian nation in this time in history show balls, they got my support and my admiration, 100%. And if the Romanian weasels are doing what they do best, all right, they got my, you know what I mean. So you can get mad as much as you want. Go and continue kissing those guys who occupy your country at this point, by Kugelnicianu and all that, and then, they're defending you. Yeah, okay, they're defending you. You keep dreaming. I know I have a lot of Romanian friends. I made a lot of Romanian friends with my videos here because they don't like to be called weasels if they are weasels. I know. And I can prove they're weasels. Why? Because they support a weasel government and they continue supporting a slave mentality over there. That's what it is. You let yourself be plundered by these guys over there. And when I say slave mentality, I'm talking about Nietzsche's mentality. Nietzsche's ideology on slave and master mentality. Well, just look, those are philosophical ideas if you did not know. So don't think in your little box over there, oh my God, this and that. No, just read Nietzsche, okay? He's a German philosopher, by the way. I know you guys know, but for the idiots, I had to say that. Because there are some guys who really, really don't use this for whatever it was intended. So, here we have the Hungarians, good job. They seem to be independent and sovereign, as our values supposedly are. But only the countries that are allowed to be like that. So, anyway, I think that's good enough for this one. And do you think the von der Leyen will come and say anything about it? No, she's not going to say anything. She's probably going to go in on the attack, saying that Hungary is not a democracy, that it's an attack on the justice system, that this and that, and the same mantra that they've been using since Orban decided that he is not going to follow the script, and then everything broke loose. That happens all the time. When you hear someone is hailed as fantastic, and all of a sudden the media, like in a command, boom, starts printing certain things that you didn't know, but they knew. It was not like something you just found out. We just found out now that, I don't know, that happened. Really? I don't believe that a bit. Because when you want to do a job on someone, you want to make sure that you got all the information. And you do it. Like, for instance, I'm going to give you an example. At the second election, when George W. Bush, yeah, that one, but that president of the United States of America, yeah, that one, that was voted, another beauty, that was voted by the sophisticated American electorate. That guy, when he was the candidate again, the second time for re-election, he ran for the re-election, we found out that he was discharged from the Texas National Guard, blah, blah, blah. He was not serving in the military, whatever. He was in the National Guard, and he was a little bit of a sniffer and all that, and it was not a honorable discharge or something like that. Only at the second, not the first one, the second. Do you think it was that hard? These guys, when they have a candidate, an enemy like that, they will do all the research they can. And believe me, that was at the surface. It was not something, oh my God, we found this one. Oh my, Jesus Christ. They knew everything about that guy. Everything. What's the quantity he drinks daily, how much he used to drink, how many times he yelled at Linda, whatever her name is, Bush. Linda? I don't think it was Linda, but anyway. I can't remember, whatever. I think something with L. Anyway, remember, they knew everything. And I think they also had it on record, just so you know, like, just funny fuck. Cheers. I think that's how they knew everything about this guy. But anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.